Abraham Lincoln's story is one of resilience and determination. Born in a log cabin in Kentucky in 1809, Lincoln's early life was marked by hardship. He was largely self-educated, yet possessed a keen intellect and a thirst for knowledge. Lincoln's journey took him from humble beginnings to a career as a lawyer and politician. He served in the Illinois legislature and the U.S. House of Representatives. Throughout his political career, Lincoln demonstrated a steadfast commitment to preserving the Union. His eloquence and unwavering principles drew national attention. In 1860, Lincoln's election as the 16th President of the United States marked a pivotal moment in American history. Little did anyone know that his presidency would be dominated by a tumultuous civil war, testing the very fabric of the nation. Lincoln's path to the presidency was unlikely, but it was his unwavering belief in the principles of unity and equality that would ultimately define his legacy. As the leader of a nation on the brink of collapse, Lincoln's resolve would be tested like never before. The challenges that lay ahead would demand every ounce of his strength, wisdom, and compassion. The outbreak of the Civil War in 1861 thrust Lincoln into a role he could never have fully anticipated, commander-in-chief during a period of unprecedented national crisis. Lincoln's approach to leadership during the war was pragmatic and adaptive. He recognized the need for a strong military strategy to preserve the Union. However, he also understood the delicate political landscape. Lincoln faced criticism from all sides. Some urged him to take a more aggressive stance against the Confederacy. Others pleaded for reconciliation and compromise. Throughout it all, Lincoln navigated these competing pressures with a steady hand, always mindful of the human cost of war. He experimented with different commanders and military tactics, searching for leaders who could bring the conflict to a decisive end. One of Lincoln's most significant decisions was the appointment of Ulysses S. Grant as General-in-Chief of the Union Army. Grant's relentless pursuit of victory, coupled with his understanding of the importance of logistics and manpower, proved crucial in turning the tide of the war in favor of the Union. Lincoln's willingness to learn from his mistakes and to delegate authority to capable individuals ultimately contributed to the Union's success. While the Civil War raged on, Lincoln grappled with the issue that lay at the heart of the conflict: slavery. Lincoln's personal views on slavery evolved over time. He consistently maintained that slavery was morally wrong. However, he also recognized the complexities of abolishing it in a nation so deeply divided. In the early days of the war, Lincoln prioritized preserving the Union above all else. He feared that pushing for emancipation too soon would alienate border states that remained loyal to the Union. However, as the war dragged on, and the human cost of slavery became increasingly clear, Lincoln's stance began to shift. He understood that the war could not be won solely on the battlefield. It required a moral reckoning with the institution of slavery. Lincoln's evolving views on slavery were not without opposition. Many within his own party remained hesitant to embrace emancipation. They feared the political and economic consequences of such a radical shift. Yet Lincoln recognized that the time for half measures was over. The nation could no longer afford to ignore the moral imperative of freedom. On January 1st, 1863, Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, a document that would forever alter the course of American history. The proclamation declared that all enslaved people in Confederate-held territory were to be then, thenceforward, and forever free. This bold declaration was a watershed moment in the fight against slavery. It transformed the Civil War from a struggle to preserve the Union into a fight for human liberation. While the Emancipation Proclamation did not immediately free all enslaved people in the United States, its symbolic significance cannot be overstated. It sent a clear message to the Confederacy and to the world that the Union was committed to ending slavery. The proclamation also paved the way for the recruitment of African American soldiers into the Union Army, further bolstering the Union's fight for freedom. The Emancipation Proclamation was not without its limitations. It only applied to Confederate-held territory, leaving slavery intact in border states that remained loyal to the Union. However, it represented a significant turning point in the Civil War and in the fight for racial equality in the United States. It cemented Lincoln's legacy as the great emancipator and set the stage for the eventual abolition of slavery throughout the nation. Section 5. Securing Freedom, the 13th Amendment. Lincoln understood that the Emancipation Proclamation, while a crucial step, was not enough to ensure the permanent abolition of slavery. He knew that a constitutional amendment was necessary to enshrine this freedom into law. To this end, Lincoln threw his full support behind the passage of the 13th Amendment, which would outlaw slavery in the United States. Lincoln used all his political acumen to secure the necessary votes for the amendment's passage in Congress. He understood the historical significance of this moment and the importance of leaving a legacy of freedom for future generations. After much debate and negotiation, the 13th Amendment was finally passed by Congress on January 31, 1865, and ratified by the states later that year. The passage of the 13th Amendment was a testament to Lincoln's unwavering commitment to equality and justice. It marked the culmination of years of struggle and sacrifice by abolitionists, enslaved people, and their allies. With the ratification of the 13th Amendment, slavery was finally abolished in the United States, forever changing the fabric of American society. Section 6. Evolving Perspectives, Lincoln's Moral Reckoning. As the Civil War entered its final stages, Lincoln's own views on slavery and the war itself continued to evolve. He came to see the conflict not merely as a political struggle, but as a moral reckoning for the sins of slavery. In his second inaugural address, delivered just weeks before his assassination, Lincoln reflected on the devastating consequences of slavery and the war it had wrought. He acknowledged the nation's collective guilt in perpetuating the institution of slavery and called for a spirit of reconciliation and healing. Lincoln's words were a testament to his profound empathy and his belief in the possibility of a more just and equitable future for all Americans. Lincoln's evolving views on slavery and his call for national unity in the face of deep divisions continue to resonate today. His journey from a pragmatic politician to a staunch advocate for emancipation demonstrates the transformative power of leadership in times of crisis. Lincoln's legacy reminds us that true leadership requires not only strength and determination, but also a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths and to evolve with the changing moral landscape. Section 7. With Malice Toward None, Lincoln's Second Inaugural Address. Lincoln's second inaugural address, delivered on March 4, 1865, stands as one of the most eloquent and profound speeches in American history. In just a few short paragraphs, Lincoln captured the essence of the Civil War, its devastating consequences, and his hopes for the nation's future. He spoke of the scourge of war, a scourge that he believed was divine punishment for the sin of slavery. Yet, even in the midst of victory, Lincoln did not gloat. Instead, he offered words of reconciliation, urging his fellow Americans to move forward with malice toward none, with charity for all. He called for a just and lasting peace, one that would bind up the nation's wounds and usher in a new era of unity and prosperity. Lincoln's second inaugural address was a masterpiece of brevity and eloquence. It was a testament to his political genius, his deep humanity, and his unwavering belief in the promise of America. His words continue to inspire generations of Americans, and serve as a timeless reminder of the importance of compassion, forgiveness, and unity in the face of adversity. Section 8. The Enduring Legacy of the Great Emancipator. Abraham Lincoln's assassination on April 15, 1865, just days after the end of the Civil War, sent shockwaves through a nation still reeling from years of conflict. Lincoln's death was a profound loss for the country he had led through one of its darkest chapters. However, his legacy as the great emancipator and the savior of the Union would only grow stronger in the years and decades that followed. Lincoln's image has become synonymous with American ideals of honesty, integrity, and unwavering commitment to equality. His words continue to resonate in the halls of Congress, in courtrooms, and in the hearts of Americans from all walks of life. His story serves as a constant reminder that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges, one person's courage and determination can indeed change the course of history. Lincoln's legacy is complex and multifaceted. He was a man of his time, shaped by the political and social realities of 19th century America. Yet his vision of a nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal continues to inspire and challenge us today. As we grapple with our own era's pressing issues of social justice and equality, Lincoln's life and words serve as a beacon of hope and a call to action. Section 9. A Legacy Open to Interpretation. While Lincoln's place in American history is secure, his legacy remains a subject of ongoing debate and interpretation. Historians and scholars continue to grapple with the complexities of his character, his motivations, and the long-term consequences of his decisions. Some argue that Lincoln was a reluctant emancipator, driven to abolish slavery primarily by military necessity. Others maintain that he underwent a genuine moral transformation over the course of the war, coming to embrace emancipation as a moral imperative. Regardless of one's interpretation of Lincoln's motives, there is no denying the profound impact of his actions. His presidency marked a turning point in American history, ushering in a new era of freedom and equality. Lincoln's legacy is not simply a matter of historical analysis. It is a living, breathing part of American identity. His words and deeds continue to shape our understanding of citizenship, leadership, and the ongoing struggle for a more just and equitable society. As we reflect on Lincoln's life and legacy, we are invited to engage in our own process of reflection and interpretation, asking ourselves what it means to live up to the ideals he espoused and to continue the unfinished work of building a more perfect union.